Good morning, all of you. So we have discussed CMOS inverter. In the CMOS inverter, we have seen DC analysis and the cross-sectional view of the CMOS inverter, as well as some basic condition for turn on and turn off of the NMOS and PMOS. Today we would be learn about the voltage transfer curve. So if you have to become to this topic, so diagram, whatever we are going to use here, Nilesh. So what I am saying that the figure shows the transistor characteristics for both N and P type device. We can determine the voltage transfer characteristics of inverter by evaluating various transistor bias regions. Okay. So which figure I am talking about? I am talking about this graph. So you can see here I have plotted the two separate IB characteristics. The diagram 2.11a, it is the current voltage characteristics of NMOS connected in the CMOS inverter. And all of you please note it down. And diagram B is representing the IB characteristics of the PMOS connected in the CMOS inverter. Okay, so please note down. In the y-axis of this A, IDN, the drain current of the NMOS, and in the x-axis it is VDSN, that is equivalent to the output voltage of inverter also. And in the x-axis of the PMOS characteristics, there is the VSDP, source to drain voltage of PMOS device, and the y-axis is the IDP, that is the drain current flowing across the PMOS. And there are the three curves for the three different values of the gate to source voltage of NMOS, and there is some marking is there A, C. Similarly, in the PMOS characteristics, according to the variation of source to gate voltage of the PMOS transistor, there is a three curves are there, and there is a one of the marking B is there, and these are the transition curves both in the both diagram, that is representing the drain to source saturation voltage of NMOS, source to drain saturation voltage of the PMOS. I hope you have drawn these diagrams. Now we are going to discuss these characteristics. Okay. So first case, when the Vi or input voltage is 0, in that condition NMOS device is cut off. If NMOS device is in cutoff, means IDN and IDP is 0, because both are connected in series. So whatever the current flowing across the NMOS, same current is flowing across the PMOS. So if IDN is 0, then IDP is also 0. So the PMOS source to gate voltage is now VDD, which means PMOS is biased on the curve B marked B in the figure B. So this condition, if I want to represent with the help of circuit diagram, those who have discussed in the last lecture, so it is like that. Here you can easily see that when Vi is equal to 0, your NMOS is in the cutoff, means it is not conducting, and only PMOS is conducting. So in this case, what happens? Vi is equal to 0. So voltage across source to gate of the PMOS is what? It is generally VDD minus Vi. Now Vi is 0, so it is equal to VDD. That's why PMOS is conducting. But as the IDN, it is equal to 0, so IDP is also 0, because both are in the series and same current, same network. So in this condition, the voltage drop across source to drain of PMOS is 0. Okay, so there would be some relationship would be established. VSDP is 0, and VSDP we know that VDD minus V0. So VDD minus V0 is also 0. That means here V naught would be become VDD. This is the outcome of this condition. Now this is discussed here, and it is shows that it is like a curve marked B in the figure B for PMOS condition. So you can see easily and correlate this. So this is the condition when VSG is equal to VDD. So this is this curve, the uppermost curve in the PMOS. Okay. So it is showing that what? This curve is representation. Now the other condition, since only point on the curve corresponding to the IDP is equal to 0 occurs only when VSDP is equal to 0. The same condition we are discussing, VSDP is 0 and VSDP is equivalent to VDD minus V naught. That means what? V naught is equal to now VDD. This is the maximum voltage generated by the inverter output. Okay, and these conditions exist as long as your NMOS transistor is in cutoff. That means either Vi is equal to 0 or either it is less than threshold voltage. Means your NMOS is in the cutoff region. Okay, so IDP is 0 in this condition. This is the lowermost curve in the PMOS, you can see easily. So in this case, what happens? It is in the cutoff region, and in this case, it is in the cutoff region, NMOS is in the cutoff region, and the voltage across the VSDP is equal to VDD minus V naught, that is equal to V naught is equal to VDD. Okay. Now come to the next condition of this CMOS inverter. When Vi is equal to VDD, in the previous case Vi is equal to 0. Now in this case Vi is equal to VDD. So we are taking extreme conditions, means switching conditions. So here what happens when Vi is equal to VDD? Your PMOS device is in cutoff. It would be goes into the cutoff mode. Okay. Opposite of the previous condition. Here Vi is equal to VDD means PMOS device is in the cutoff mode. And if it is in the cutoff mode means PMOS is in off condition. So the current would be not flow across PMOS. IDP is equal to 0. And as IDP is equal to 0, I have already told you that IDP and IDN is same in this configuration. So IDN is also 0. And if IDN is 0, then we have to be again come to the other condition. NMOS get to source voltage VGSN is equivalent to VD, because we have seen in the circuitry VI is nothing but VGSN, and if VI is VDD means VGSN is also VDD. This condition says that NMOS is biased as a curve marked A. Okay, that means what? What is the curve marked A? In this diagram you can see this is saying that when VGSN is equal to VDD means this is the curve. So this curve would be plotted for this condition. This curve would be plotted for NMOS. VGSN is equal to VDD. Okay. Now means NMOS is in the saturation region. You can consider it. The only point on the curve corresponding to IDN is equal to 0 occurs at VDSN. because we know that what is the VDSN, that is same as the V naught, is equal to 0. If IDN is 0, so voltage drop across the drain to source terminal is also 0. That means output voltage is 0. The output voltage is 0 as long as PMOS device is in the cutoff. So in this condition, if PMOS device is in the cutoff, VSGP means source to gate voltage of PMOS. Gate to source voltage of NMOS is VDD, but source to gate voltage of PMOS is what? It is generally VDD minus VI. And this voltage, source to gate voltage for the PMOS, is less than threshold voltage of the PMOS as per the condition of cutoff. Okay. So what happens if you would be interpret this condition, your VI would be greater than VDD minus mod of VTP. So this means input voltage in the range of what? Your VI is greater than VDD minus mod of VTP, greater than or equal to, or maximum it could be VDD. So it is flowing in between this two range, VDD minus VTP to VDD under this condition. Okay. Now whatever we have discussed till, it is an ideal condition. Vi is 0 means we are applying logic 0 to the input of the inverter, and as per the property of inverter we are getting a logic 1, that means output voltage is VDD. Similarly, when the Vi is equal to maximum voltage VDD means we are applying logic 1 to the input of inverter, we are expecting the logic 0 as output, that's why we are getting V naught is equal to 0. And this is the ideal curve, voltage transfer curve you can say, between the for the CMOS inverter. So here you can see the conditions. The more positive output voltage correspond to 1, logic 1, or it is equivalent to VOH is equal to VDD. This is the condition. This is the voltage transfer curve. Voltage transfer curve is what? The graph or characteristics plotted between the output voltage of the circuit configuration with respect to the input voltage applied to that particular configuration. So this kind of representation is called as the voltage transfer curve. Means transfer of voltage. It is a study of transfer of voltage between the input to output terminal. So here, as per our condition, maximum output voltage VOH is VDD, and in this condition NMOS is in the cutoff. NMOS is in the cutoff region. At the same time, the other condition is what? The more negative voltage, output voltage, that is represented by the logic 0 or VOL is equal to 0, is equal to 0. So logic 0 is here what? You can see in the diagram. VOL is 0 here shown. Means in this condition, it is only possible when PMOS device is in the cutoff. And input voltage of PMOS would be in between VDD minus VTP to VDD. And this condition is possible when NMOS is in cutoff, only when your NMOS device is in between 0 to threshold voltage. So when output is in the logic state 1, NMOS is in cutoff, and when output is in the logic 0, CMOS is in the cutoff. Okay. So these are the two conditions that we have to be discussed. And till we have discussed the nearly ideal condition. This is happened with the general CMOS inverter or a inverter that we have learned in the logic circuitry. Now we would be discuss the condition in between these two levels, logic 1 and logic 0. There are some intermediate levels are also that we have to be discussed now. So for this, move to the next slide. So ideally, current in the CMOS inverter is either steady state condition is 0. We have already discussed in the properties of CMOS, which means that ideally the quiescent power dissipation is 0. This results is most attractive feature of the CMOS digital circuit. That's why this configuration would be more popular in the CMOS or digital circuits in nowadays. But in actuality or in practical conditions, CMOS inverter circuits exhibit a small leakage current in both steady state conditions. Steady state condition means when the logic 1 is applied and when the logic 0 is applied. Due to what? Reverse bias PN junction. In ideal case, the steady state current is 0. But in actual case, because of the reverse bias PN junctions, some amount of leakage current is present in both steady state conditions. Okay. However, the power dissipation may be in the nanowatt range rather than in the milliwatt range of NMOS inverters. Power dissipation may be in the nanowatt range rather than in the milliwatt range of the NMOS inverters. Okay. So without this feature, VLSI is not possible. So in the case of CMOS, what we are getting, the power dissipation is very less, nearly negligible, you can say. In nanowatt, it is very small value of the power dissipation. And that is one of the major advantage of CMOS inverter over the other kind of NMOS inverters. And these features make CMOS device suitable for the VLSI. Now we would be see the intermediate conditions between logic 0 and logic 1. What are the other intermediate conditions could be possible? So when input voltage is just greater than the threshold voltage, so it would be represented as Vi, it is equal to VGSN VTN plus. Means it is little bit more than the threshold voltage. And when you would be increase this input voltage little bit above of the threshold voltage, so NMOS begin to conduct. And when the NMOS begin to conduct, then what happens? Your Q point falls on the curve marked C in the figure 2.11a. So because of this increment in the input voltage, when VGSN is greater than the threshold voltage, your curve would be down from the A to C in this condition. Means what happens? If you have to be think there is some DC load line, so here it would be dropped from this level of the Q point to this C here. The Q point would be moved downward in the IV characteristic. Okay. And it is only possible when you increase the input voltage greater than the threshold voltage. And in this condition, what happens? A small amount of current is start to flow in the NMOS device. And when this current would be start to flow, you would be get the finite voltage drop across the NMOS transistor. And this voltage drop can be written as a VDSN. Okay. And it would be little bit less than the VDD. In the previous case, when Vi is 0, your output voltage is VDD. But now you have increased the input voltage little bit more than the threshold voltage. Your output voltage will start to decrease. That's why it is written as a equivalent to VDD, but not equal to VDD. It is less than VDD, which means that your NMOS device is now biased in saturation. In the previous case, when Vi is 0, NMOS is in the cutoff region. But when you increase the Vi more than the threshold voltage, it would be directly biased in the saturation region. That's why your output voltage would be dropped. And the PMOS source to drain voltage is now it is very small. And because of that, you can say that PMOS is biased in non-saturation region. So you have to be see that the new condition when your Vi is little bit greater than threshold voltage, so your NMOS would be start to conduct, your Q point would be false on the curve, and because of that some finite but very small but finite current would be start to flow across the NMOS, and because of that your voltage across drain to source terminal would be dropped, and your NMOS would be biased in the saturation region. At the same moment, your PMOS would be also biased in the non-saturation region. So this curve would be give you the clear idea. So this is the condition that we have seen when NMOS is in the cutoff. Here the NMOS is in the cutoff region, and your VDD V0 is maximum VDD, and steady state current is 0. But when the Vi is greater than threshold voltage, at that moment some finite amount of current is flowing, and this curve would be start to little bit bend here. So this is the reason A is shown here. That is showing that now your NMOS in the saturation. So under this condition, NMOS is in saturation. NMOS is in saturation. And PMOS is what? During this region, A. PMOS is what? PMOS is in non-saturation. Okay. Here NMOS cutoff. You can write on your diagram. And here NMOS is cutoff means PMOS is, you can say, non-saturation. Non-saturation. Okay. Now you can see this is the transition point. This is the transition point in this curve. So this is the transition point for NMOS as well as the PMOS also. Now, first of all, see that this is the transition point the PMOS, and this is the transition point for the NMOS. So what happens here, up to this position, PMOS is biased in the non-saturation region. Now, from this point, when you move to B, towards the B side, PMOS would be change its region of operation from non-saturation to the saturation. Okay. So in this condition, so we would be continue our discussion on this point. So what happens? So this is the transition point for the PMOS. So here it would be enter from A to B region. So in the A region, PMOS is in the non-saturation. Now your PMOS would be enter into the saturation region. In the B region, it would be in saturation region. And this is the B region where you can say NMOS is also in the saturation region. Both device is biased in the saturation region. You can see the condition of the PMOS here. Transition point for the PMOS is defined as VSDP saturation, that is equivalent to the source to gate voltage of PMOS plus threshold voltage of the PMOS. As we know that the threshold voltage of PMOS is negative, so it would be considered as a plus. Otherwise, there is a minus sign actually. If it would take a mod of BTP, then it is a VSGP minus mod of BTP. So if you have to be seen the diagram, the above equation could be written as what? VDD minus VOPT means output voltage of PMOS at transition point. VOPT means output voltage of PMOS at the transition point. So VDD minus VOPT is equal to VD minus VOPT is what? It is combination of VSGP plus BTP. So it is VSGP is what? Input voltage of PMOS transistor at transition point. So at that position, whatever the input voltage of PMOS, that is VIPT plus VTP. So it could be also written as output voltage of PMOS at transition point OPT is equal to VIPT minus VTP. VD would be cancel out here. Okay. So this is the output voltage of PMOS at the transition point. This is very important relationship, and this is the point here. This is the transition point of PMOS. Here the output voltage value is VIPT minus VT. Now, after this transition point, mode device would be entered to the B region, and in the B region, PMOS is biased in the saturation region, NMOS is also biased in the saturation. Now, when you move downward in this voltage transfer curve, you would come to another transition point, and this is the transition point for the NMOS. So now, for A and B, NMOS is biased in saturation region. Now, when it would be entered to the C region, NMOS is biased in non-saturation region. NMOS would be biased in the saturation region. This is the transition point for the NMOS, and PMOS would be continue the region of saturation. Okay, at C, PMOS is in the saturation region and NMOS would be in the non-saturation. Now you have to see that you have increased your input voltage very much high. Okay, it is nearly to the VT. But here is the case where you have to be in between BTN and VDD. So what happens? The transition points for the NMOS is defined as the VDSN is saturation is equal to, as per the pinch off voltage value, VGSN minus VTN, and VDSN saturation is nothing but your output voltage of NMOS at transition point, that is equal to VGSN is nothing what? Input voltage of NMOS at transition point minus VTN. Okay. So this is the relationship of the output voltage at transition point for the NMOS, VONT equal to VINT minus VT. Similarly, we have defined the PMOS. And finally, we would get this transfer curve. This is the resultant transfer curve for the CMOS inverter. This is the complete voltage transfer curve. And you can write these values here. So I'm just writing you. See here, when V0 is VDD means what? Vi is equal to 0, NMOS is in the cutoff, and PMOS is in the non-saturation. This is the reason from this point to this point, it is a region of A, you can say. Here NMOS is in the saturation and PMOS is in the non-saturation. Your output voltage would be decreased, and that would come to the level of VOPT. And now in between this point, VOPT and VONT, that is the B region. Here you can say that NMOS and PMOS both are in the saturation region. And after B, there is a transition region for the NMOS. It would be entered to the C region, where your NMOS would be entered into the non-saturation region and PMOS would be in the saturation region. And you would get this value, okay, where the output is VDD minus VTP. And finally, you would be get the output voltage 0. For when Vi is equal to equivalent to VDD, output is 0. Okay. So this is the complete transfer. You have to be mention the reason of operation when your NMOS is in the saturation or when your PMOS is in the saturation. That is very much important for this voltage transfer. Okay. Now, if you have to be see, so that is all about the voltage transfer curve of the CMOS inverter. Now, you have to be see CMOS inverter currents. So when CMOS inverter voltage is either a logic 0 or a logic 1, current in the circuit is 0. Current in the circuit is 0 since one of the transistor is in the cutoff. We have seen already. But when your input voltage Vi in between threshold voltage and VDD minus VTP, at that moment both the transistors are start to conduct and a current exists in the inverter. We have seen the A, B and C regions. These are the regions where input voltage in the range of the in between VTN and VDD minus VTP. If anyone not remember, this is the reason I am talking about. When your Vi is in between VTN and VDD minus VTP, in between this region, these are the A, B and C. So in this case, both the transistor would be conducting and some small amount of current is flowing across the CMOS inverter. And when NMOS transistor is biased in saturation, the current in the inverter is controlled by the gate to source voltage of NMOS, VGSN, and PMOS source to drain voltage, and adjust such that IDP is equal to IDN. Always in the CMOS, either of any reason, your current flowing across the PMOS is same as the current flowing across the NMOS. This is the beauty of this CMOS inverter configuration. So when IDN is equal to IDP means what? Mathematically, if you have to be right, first of all we have to derive the current equation for the NMOS, that is equal to Kn VGSN minus VTN whole square. That is VGS is what? Vi. If you would be take the square root of this, it would be square root of IDN is equal to square root of Kn Vi minus VTN. Now you can see that as long as your NMOS is biased in the saturation region, the square root of CMOS inverter current is a linear function of input voltage. You can see here, the square root of the CMOS inverter current is a linear function of input voltage as long as your NMOS is biased in the saturation region, means A and B region. Similarly, we can define the PMOS current. So when the PMOS transistor is in the saturation region, means B and C region, the current in the inverter is controlled by source to gate voltage of PMOS and NMOS drain to source voltage, and it would be adjust itself in such a way that IDP is equal to IDN. So same formula. Now we have to be define the current equation of the PMOS IDP, that is Kp VDD minus Vi, because this is the input voltage applied to PMOS, plus VTP whole square. We know that the threshold voltage of the PMOS is negative, so it is here the plus sign is there. So do not confuse with that. Now take the square root of both. So your root under square root of the IDP is linearly related to input voltage of the CMOS inverter. In the both case, it is related to the CMOS inverter current is a linear function of the input voltage of either NMOS transistor or PMOS transistor. Okay. So now time is very much less. In the next lecture, we would be discuss about the power dissipation of the CMOS inverter. Okay. Thank you all of you for attending the lecture.